Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri This Xfinity?
Yes.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev Ki Jai. Jai Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham, Mayapur Dham, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Jai Yamuna Mai Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Brahma Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Shri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai. Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai. Jai Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Jai Haridas Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Jai. And then Jai. What do we have? No. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the worldwide devotees. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Bol. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Santa Maharaj, Muni Maharaj ki Jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So page. Oh, page 38. Page 38 on the Kirtan Guide. Page 38, Vandanam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Sa Om Agana Timidandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Vinditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Puja Shri Guru Varga Vandita Mahabhavam Vajjaya Sada Purva Parya Parampara Prachalita Pragya Pramurta Krite Bhaktir Nirmala Nirjarhasya Nibritam Samrakshakam Sararam Vande Shri Guru Devam Ananta Shira Acharya Varam Nijam Govabhista Sapurakam Guru Ganaya Ashisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Sri Rupa Patananugam Govindabdidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Chadivya Bhagavat Premna Hibija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Palarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Param Sarikavaranam Vairagya Vidya Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidam Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Param Vande Tam Subhadam Marika Sharanam Nyashishwaram Sridharam Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gaurvanvaye Bhato Banuvira Prabhata Gagane Sankirtanai Mayavada Timingilo Doragatan Udritya Jivani Mam Krishna Prema Sudabhigatana Pradat Prabhum Tam Bhajet Namo Gaur Kishoraya Bhakta Vadutta Mortaye Gaurangri Padma Bringaya Radha Bhavani Sevane Vande Bhakti Vinodam Sri Gora Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shashagyam Rajan Radha Rasa Sudanidim Gora Vrajajite Shire Vaisnavayar Vanja Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdim Vreda Vaisnavam Vanshakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavaranaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goro Tuche Namaha Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Sri Madranagara Singha Sri Gandharva Srila Govinda Devo Presali Sevya Manu Smarami Sriman Rasa Rasamrambi Vangsivata Tatastita Karshan Venu Swanara Gopir Gopinatha Shri Suna Vrindayai Tulosi Devai Priyayai Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradi Devi Satyavachai Namo Namo Atanatva Mantra Gurun Bhagavatarthadan Vyasan Jagat Kadar Kapra Tato Jaya Mudiraya Jai Saparika Shri Shri Guru Garanga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Pada Padmanam Jayastu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurumar Srila Gurudev Srila Acharya Dev Ki Jai Jagal Premanandi Hare Hare Page 16.
Madhava.
16 at the bottom. Yasomati Nandana. Raj Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj.
Do you know that one?
Yes. Vasumati Nandana Rajavana
Yasomati Nandana Prajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana. Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damona Vidana
vilasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Para Vangsivadana Suvasa Rajajana Padana Surakula Nasana Nanda Godana Rakoyala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Nattabara Pakati Vinoda Shraya Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana. Oh, I thank you. What is that? Page Vaishnava Thakur, page 58. 58. 58. And then Shantamaras. You like to sing that one?
Just a minute, I'm just going to the page number. Ohi Vaishnava Thakur Madhava Thakur Vidase Puri
Hey Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edase Karuna Kori
Diya Pada Chaya Sadhiya Mai Maracharan
Diya Pada Chaya Shodaheya Maya Somara Charana Dori
Chaya Vigodoni Chaya Dutsuti Chaya Gunante Hodase
Chaya Vegadami Chaya Dosha Shodi Chaya Guna Deha Dase Chaya Sat-Sanga Deha Amare Basachi Sangera Ase
Harinama Sankirtane
Ekaki Amar Nai Pai Bala Harinama Sankirtane
Krishna Namadani.
তুমি কৃপা করে শরবিন্দু দিয়া দেয়া কৃষ্ণ নামদানে
কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো তোমার স্থপতি আছে
কৃষ্ণ সে তোমার কৃষ্ণ দিতে পার তোমার শাখাতে আছে
আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি ভাই তব পাছে পাছে
আমি তো গঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি দাইতাবা পাছে পাছে
ভাই তব পাছে পাছে
দাইতাবা পাছে পাছে
কৃষ্ণ ধন পাবার আছে ভাই তব পাছে পাছে
কৃষ্ণ দানা পাবার আছে দাইতাবা পাছে পাছে
কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারো
তুমি দিলে কৃষ্ণ দিতে পারা
কৃষ্ণ তোমার হৃদয়ে ঘর তুমি দিলেও দিতে পারো
কৃষ্ণ তোমার হৃদয়ের দান তুমি দিলে দিতে পারা
কৃষ্ণ দেবার শক্তি ধর তুমি দিলেও দিতে পারো
কৃষ্ণ দেব শক্তি ধারা তুমি দিলেও দিলে পারা
আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি ভাই তব পাছে পাছে
আমি টাকাঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি দাইতাবা পাছে পাছে জয়
দয়াল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়াল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়াল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর
জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর
দয়াল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়াল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর দয়াল বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর
জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর vivo. ¿Eh? Page 65. And then Kanupriya, Devi, can you sing that? Done? You know that one?
Yeah.
Okay. 65. Better. Ye chayaya jagata judaya Hey nani tai vine bai Radha Krishna paite nai Didakari darani tai rapai Se sambandha nahi ara Vrita janma gela tara Se pasu bada durachara Nitai na balila muke, majila samsara suke. Vidya kule kikari betara. Ahankara matahaina nitai pada pasariya. Asatyera satya korimani. Nitaye karuno hobe Raja Radha Krishna pabe. Dada nityaye sarana dukani. Nityaye charan satya tanhara sevaya nikha. Nitai pada sadakarasa. Narottama baraduki nitaye morarakaki. Rakaranga charanera pasa. Right. What happened to Ajay? He missed. He disconnected. Oma Didi also. Oh. Okay. Oh, Inga. Oh, he's missing in action. MIA. Then let's see. And then Krishna Kesha. Would you like to sing? Hari Harai, page 165.
Your tablet has been disconnected. Your tablet came out. Yep. It plugged to your tablet. Dhanavats. Hare Krishna. Page 165. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Giri Hari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Radha Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath.
Jai Rup Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunath.
Ichaya Goshanikari Charana Bandhan.
Ichai Goshan Kori Charana Bandhan.
Yaha Hoite Vignanasa Abhishta Puran. Ichaya Goshaniyara Muitara Das. Tasa Bara Para Renu Mora Panchagras. Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janame Mora E Abilas. Echaya Goshaniyabe Vraji Kailavas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Karila Prakash.
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Karila Prakash.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Majiya Mana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Para Padmakari As. Hari Nama Sankirtana Kahe Narottama Das. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai, Jai Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Bhakti Namalachari Maharaj ki Jai. Dhanyavad.
So we got Ajay today, but we didn't get Ajay back, but we didn't get Uma back. Okay.
There's some issue with my laptop.
Okay. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So let's see. Today, Krishna Kesava Prabhu sent a verse. Did you? How do they see that?
It's right there in the messages.
In the messages? You see the verse in the messages?
Yes.
Mine's gone, Maharaj.
It's gone?
Yes.
Okay.
I got logged out.
Maybe you already know that verse anyhow. Maybe you already know that one. A very well-known verse in the Vaishnava tradition. This verse of Srila Rupa Goswami from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Lochan, do you see it?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
That verse gives Rupa Goswami's definition of what is Shuddha Bhakti, what is pure devotion. Very important in Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. Rupa Goswami is our highest teacher. Highest teacher of Abhideya, process of Bhakti Yoga. And he gives this verse Also found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I don't remember what chapter now.
Madhya 19.
Madhya 19. Krishna Kesava says Madhya 19. It's found there. And this verse says, Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Jnana Karmadinavritam. Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam. Bhaktir Uchate. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Yeah, see? In Sanskrit, Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Anya, Sanskrit means other. Anya Bilasita. Bilasita means desire, desirousness, without any other desiring or desirousness. Sunya. Sunya, Sunyavadi, avoidism. Huh? So sunya means to avoid or devoid of. So he's saying Anya Bilasita Sunyam, devoid of any other desirousness. Devoid of all other desirousness. That's the first part. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Jnana Karma Dinavina. Then he gives the description of what type of desirousness he's talking about. Jnana means desire for knowledge, knowledge acquiring desire. Jnana karma, karma means desire for fruit of activity. To do something when the desire is there to get some result from your activity. Everybody acts for something. But if you act with desire to get something, if you act with desire to even know something, get some knowledge, that's devoid of bhakti. Jnana karmadhyanavritam. Jnana means adi, means other, plus other things. The other things that he's talking about there, if you are free from desire for jnana, for karma, and adi, anyadritam. That anyadi means the yoga. People who are practicing yoga, they want to get some perfection. They want to get some liberation. They want to be in control. These things are all outside of bhakti. Are their desires? Anya vilasita. Other desirous things. Other desires are there. Karma, jnana, yoga, they are not accepted as bhakti. Avritam means that have this covering. That have the covering, have the, what did you say? The conditioning, the impurity. Alloy. If they're alloyed with these kind of desires for fruit of activity, for gaining philosophical knowledge, that's so many things that are not connected with bhakti. Knowledge in the service of bhakti is another thing. Action in the service of bhakti is another thing. Fixing the mind, becoming fixed as the yogis practice this, fixing the mind, samadhi, that's okay. If you're doing that and be trying to become fixed in devotion, your mind doesn't want to wander to other things except serving, satisfying Krishna. Anyhow, he explains it in the next part. First of all, become freed from this material, jnana karma dhinavritam. Then, anukulena krishnanushilanam. Anukulena. Anukul, this anukul means favorable. Anukul. There's two things, anukul, pratikul. Anukul yena. So anukul yena means that's favorable to Krishna. That's pleasing to Krishna. Anukul yena. Not pratikul. Pratikul means unfavorable to Krishna. Favorable to Krishna, anukul. Now I know there's some controversy, not controversy, but some discussion has been on this, anukul. That is it possible that only service that is favorable to Krishna is bhakti? Or is there any case, like for instance, when Mother Yasoda is running after Krishna, trying to chastise him? Is that favorable to Krishna? She is threatening to kill him, and he's afraid. Then that's unfavorable, no? So that anugul means what is pleasing to Krishna. Sense. Yes, even Mother Yasoda trying to spank him is pleasing to Krishna because he thinks my mother is so much concerned with me. She's ready to spank me so that I can become a good boy. So he takes that as favorable. So anukulyena Krishna Anukshilanam. That is favorable to Krishna, pleasing to him. He said this is Uttama Bhakti. Anukulyena Krishna Anukshilanam Bhaktir Uchate. Bhaktir Uchate means the highest, the most purest Bhakti. This is pure Bhakti. That has none of those defects and that perfection, that the positive thing of being pleasing to the Lord. Not engaged in other diversions from bhakti, such as search for knowledge, activity, fruit of activity, yoga, all these things, not diverting from his service. And second, the positive thing and favorable to him. Now the important question comes, what is anukulyena? What is anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam? What is that favorable? How do we know what is favorable to Krishna? And that we know through the spiritual master. We don't know what Krishna wants. We don't know what is his satisfaction, what will satisfy him. So we have the spiritual master, and we have our connection with our spiritual master. And what is pleasing to him, we understand that's pleasing to Krishna. That is the Vaishnava way. What is pleasing to Guru, that is pleasing to Krishna. Guru is who is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. And if we please Guru, then we can understand that we are pleasing Krishna. Krishna is pleased by his devotee. And the devotee's only concern is to please Krishna. So if we can please the devotee, we know that Krishna is pleased also. Otherwise, we don't know. We may have so many ideas in our brain. What is our understanding of what is pleasing and not? We'll only make our own concoction from our own mind. So we have to approach Guru and say, to Gurudev, I'd like to do such and such, or Gurudev asks you to do such and such. And then we can understand by fulfilling that wish, the desire of Gurudev, we can please Krishna. Krishna will be pleased if we can satisfactorily carry out our service. Very simple for the simple-hearted. Who are complex-minded in so many things, they may have difficulty with this. But in the simple, faithful heart of a devotee, sincere devotee, these things are very simple and very nice. And he can make a rapid progress in spiritual life by following this, understanding this, by the Lord's grace. Simple instruction of Rupa Goswami. So, yoga that is carried out for any other purpose than devotional service is pleasing to Krishna. Anything, any activity. You can do anything. It's like, it's not that you have to do such a specific thing to please Krishna. Anything. But it has to be for Krishna, that's all. You have to do it to please Krishna, to please Guru and Krishna. Otherwise, anything you can do. Some people are complaining to Shanta Maharaj, why you are doing science? Science has nothing to do with bhakti. No, you can use science also to Krishna. Why you are making money? Yeah, you can also use that money for Krishna, to build a temple or whatever. It's possible. Why you are killing? Arjuna was killing people. Why you are killing people? Krishna told him, you have to kill these people because they're going to make a mess of the whole civilization. So even that can be utilized. So anything can be used in the service. But the point of this of our has to be service. It has to be for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Huh? Otherwise, it becomes something else. Not for politics, not for some power, uh, only for not for honor, only for pleasing Krishna, not for any mundane satisfaction. Uh, that is the principle. Krishna has his will, he has his senses, everything. Rishikesham, Rishikena. He has his senses. And to please him, that is the Bhakti Yoga. That is the process of bhakti. Uh, Krishna gives intelligence to one who has that desire, how to do it. And the devotee becomes very pure in his motive. I'm detached from all mundane aspirations, all mundane desires, all sense gratificatory activities. And he spontaneously only wants to do those things that are uh, pleasing to the Lord, pleasing to Vaishnava, pleasing to Guru. And he will get more and more energy, more and more intelligence from Krishna himself to do that, because Krishna likes that. And one thing, Krishna is called all attractive, right? Krishna, you know the name Krishna? Krishna means who attracts everything. Krishna, Karshan. There's a Sanskrit root, Karshana, Karshana. Like sun Karshan. Sun Karshan means who attracts all, sun, together. Sun Karshan. Sometimes sun Karshan is called gravity. The gravity, this gravity pulls everything together, no? So sometimes gravity is called sun Karshan. Sun Karshan, pulling everything, attracting everything. But, Krishna is attracting everything, but the devotional service, bhakti, attracts Krishna. This devotional service can attract Krishna. He is attracting everything. Yet, our devotion, our service, our sincere desire to please him will attract him. This is how powerful, and more powerful than God. His service. The service of God is more powerful than God himself, because it can attract him who is attracting everyone. So that purity is very important to understand. And our practice of sadhana is to purify our heart, purify our service from all these other things, so that it is done purely for the service and satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, of Guru, Vaishnava, and Krishna, the Lord and his servitors. So we try to do that very purely, without any of these other things. That's surrender. That is devotion. Not impossible. Many devotees have come through this path, taken up this path, and their lives become very joyful and happy. Don't become entangled in so many other things. These other things, karma, gyan, yoga, they don't give ultimate perfection, ultimate satisfaction to the heart. Something will be missing. Because not our constitutional position to do all those other things. By constitution, we are created as the servants of Krishna, to serve and love him. And when we can do that, then we find, oh, this is what my life is meant for. This is the purpose. This is the fulfillment. All right. Is that clear? Right.
Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This function, 5 purusharthas. all comes under Dharma Gyan or this other category?
Dharma? What is this? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This is all mundane, huh? Non-spiritual activities, because they're all directed toward the self. Dharma, to do your duty, to make wealth, have sense enjoyment, and get liberation is all meant for your own benefit, and is self-directed activities. So these are all listed within the realm of karma. Huh? They're all karmic activities. They'll produce some reaction. Even moksha, you'll have to come back. Moksha means you get free from everything, but then you have to come back, because the soul can't be uh, not engaged in any activity. Soul is by nature restless. He has to do something. So even you want to get moksha, that won't be satisfied. You'll have to want to do something and come back. And Prabhupada used to tell these people who are going after moksha, they come back as some philanthropists. They have to do some good for others. They can't stay in the plane of dedication because they haven't cultivated. They haven't cultivated their devotional service mood. Then they can't remain in the plane of Brahman indefinitely. Brahman is neutrality. You try to attain neutrality, but then because you're looking for something to do, where will you turn? You haven't learned anything about devotion. You haven't learned anything about service. You haven't learned about the importance of Sadhu-Sanga. Then again, you come back to engage in what you do know. Those who have attained liberation, they do know about fruitive activity. That they've learned. Coming from the plane of fruitive pursuit, and they go to the plane of liberation, but they only know that fruitive pursuit. So they kind of stay there. They come back to that. And because they know nothing about service, devotional service, then because they have no association of the devotees, then they come back and try to do some fruitive activity, maybe in a very high way as a philanthropist, like I said, or giving charity or something, but still, that is not the perfection of their life. Only by coming in contact with the devotee, learning about devotional service, and that higher platform, the plane of positive and progressive immortality, then they can go in that direction. But without any experience or knowledge of that, now what are they to do? They only do what they remember, what they were used to, what they were exposed to. So it's very important that everyone have a chance to come in contact with the devotees and try to render service under their guidance and influence, and then they can understand what is the positive platform of spiritual life. The service world, the world of devotion, dedication, and not merely exploitation and renunciation. Only exposed to that, they will become, again, fallen into that plane. Understand?
Yes, but in India, all over India, especially, this is the only preaching they do about, this food stuff.
Yes.
And all religions.
Oh, I know, yes.
May not be too much, but in India it is too much. Like, they say this is what is religion.
Even in America, they have so many Indian groups here, and they're preaching the same thing. I went to preach in one Madhava center, Madhvacharya, and in New Jersey, and that's what they were preaching: liberation. Even they had Prabhupada's books, but they were still preaching liberation. So much ingrained in their minds. And the whole idea of service, dedication, they don't know what it is. Because that is given only by special mercy to those who are genuine, who are sincere, who have that sukriti. That connection with devotion, not everyone can get that. Even they come in contact with it, they don't understand it. They think that devotion even is meant for liberation. They think if you worship Krishna, you'll get liberation. No, they do it just for their own liberation.
Whereas some even say you do devotion, then after you liberated, then you do Krishna.
Yes. Then you throw the deity in the ocean. You've done your devotion. Then throw the deity in the ocean. You're liberated. Say, Hare Krishna. You become God. Then, Lochan Prabhu, what question you had? Lochan, can you hear?
Yes.
What question you had?
Yes, I was going to ask, is this in some way related to what people call samadhi?
What is that? Samadhi?
Yep.
What is the relationship between samadhi and what? Krishna consciousness? Okay.
The famous moksha?
Okay. Yeah, so samadhi means in yoga, samadhi means to fix your mind on the super soul. When the mind becomes fixed, when it's no longer controlled by the material elements, or karma or gyan or anything, then the mind becomes fixed and in perfect control. One becomes in perfect control of the mind. Then at that point, one can focus on the super soul, the Lord within the heart. That's called Gyan Mishra Bhakti. That is called Gyan Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti mixed with knowledge. The yogi can come to Patanjali. Patanjali's yogi system culminates in that Ishwar consciousness, that Ishwar, the vision of Ishwar, the super soul with 4 arms. That is considered not pure devotion because there is some mixture of gyan there. What in that stage one sees within everyone the super soul. One sees in everyone's heart, whether it be a dog, an elephant, a human being, everything, everywhere he sees the super soul. But it's considered mixed because actually you haven't awakened the serving mood yet. And the serving mood hasn't been, although the focus is there, the attachment is there, the attraction is there, the service mood has not yet been awakened. And that's one part. And the other part is that it's mixed because you see not only Krishna, but you see the living entities also. You see the dog, you see the elephant, you see the human being. You understand? And not pure Krishna. And a devotee sees only Krishna. He knows only Krishna, sees only Krishna. Hard to understand in a conditioned state, but that is the mind of a devotee. Everywhere he looks, he sees Krishna. Then, but the yogi, he sees Krishna and he sees other things also. So not the pure vision of the devotee. So samadhi means that the mind has been tamed, and the attention, the focus is on the super soul. But because it has not come to the higher stage of surrender, and it is also surrender, but it is not the serving mood. The serving mood has not yet been achieved. The serving mood. You can say it's above exploitation, Vaikuntha realization, and one sees Krishna as God in that sense, in his almighty form. Shantaras, no, I don't know. That could be Shanta. It could be lower form of Sakyaras also, Dasya. Lower forms of Dasya and Sakya. But anyhow, that is, like I said, not the pure state. Gyan Mishra Bhakti. We're looking for Gyan Sunya Bhakti. Gyan Sunya Bhakti is the devotee knows nothing but Krishna. Hard, that's inconceivable to us. If we are conditioned, it's inconceivable what that means. But this is explained in the scripture by the acharyas. Huh? The yoga, samadhi, when the mind is fixed perfectly on Ishwar, on the super soul, that is still not the highest perfectional stage in our conception. Not the highest. Yes, Ajay?
Maharaj, one more question. In Bhakti Marg, a devotee has to measure his improvement, daily he has to measure his improvement. If he has to,
Yes.
progressing,
Yeah.
if, and how to measure.
How much you are remembering Krishna? If you're seeing so many other things, then you know you're not progressing very good. If your mind is filled with Krishna and your heart is filled with Krishna, then you're making nice progress. That is Krishna consciousness. What do you think? Krishna is not satisfied with, oh, you give me a little attention. He doesn't tell Arjuna, give me a little attention, the rest of the time you can spend with so many other things. Does he say that? Manmana bhava mad bhaktya. He wants everything. Sarva dharmam purityaja may comes. Give up everything. Sarva, all your duties, all your responsibilities, all these things that you think you have to do, don't. That's not the main things. I am the main thing. That's Krishna consciousness. Of course, that doesn't mean that devotees give up everything. They're engaged in so many types of relationships with Krishna, family, this, that, the other thing. But that has to be understood in the Krishna conscious sense. Not, like I said, they're not artificial. You can't artificially think, oh, I'm going to give up everything and just meditate on Krishna. That won't work. It has to come naturally by Krishna's grace. And you'll see who is sincere. The whole problem is sincerity. When you are sincere, Krishna will fulfill your desires. You want only Krishna, you'll see how that's possible. And the more that you are not seeing that in connection with Krishna, the more you are not making progress. It's very simple. All material desires will be given up. All means material desire, all things that are not guiding you toward satisfying the Lord, favorable to the Lord's satisfaction. All those activities that are not favorable to His satisfaction, for your own satisfaction, for this satisfaction, that satisfaction. Those things. How do you do that? How do you chant? Chant the holy names, eat prasad, practice, read, associate. All these things will help to raise that awareness, raise that consciousness. And most important thing, if we are actually satisfying Gurudev, Krishna will help on his side. Because overcoming the veil of Maya, pushing away the veil of Maya, is not anything any human being can do, however much you may try. Krishna says, Maya yakshena prakriti. I am is my material energy. Maya yakshena prakriti. Suyate sat-cit-ananda. It's my material energy. It's working under my energy, my illusion. If you want to get rid of that, that is up to him. He has to do that. So something has to come from his side too. Well, we cannot artificially get there. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to give up everything, go to the forest and meditate. No. That won't work either. Krishna can let you sit in the forest for millions of lifetimes. That won't do it. You take your positions, take your stand, and sincerely try. Dear Lord, within your own heart, you have to pray, Dear Lord, I want to come to you. I want to become Krishna conscious. And even that, devotee doesn't pray. You can leave me whatever consciousness you want to leave me in. That's up to you. I just want to do a little service. If you can give me a little service that I can do every day, if I can chant my rounds, if I can offer my puja every morning to you. Whatever I can do. And then I have to leave up to you because there's only so much I can do. I am a little living entity. You are God. What do you want from me? I do what I can, but the sincerity must be there. That's all. And then we have to be patient and enthusiastic, and not lose hope. Even in the most hopeless situations, we have hope because we know Krishna is there. He is a very kind and loving Lord, and He won't forget us. If we have a drop of sincerity, you take one step toward Krishna, He'll take 1,000 steps toward you. But you have to take that one step, and which you are doing already. So you will be successful.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj,
Huh?
this word samadhi generally been used for yogis and jnanis, but for our acharyas, we have also samadhis.
Yes.
So, what does that samadhi represent?
Fixed, like I said, fixed on Krishna only. No, he doesn't know anything but Krishna. This is my Lord, my friend, my child, the environment, whatever it may be. My lover. That's Krishna. Samadhi. Doesn't come out from that plane. Like I said, that can be imitated. We try to imitate that. That won't be the good. That won't be possible. That won't be the real thing. That has to come from a gradual process of purification of the heart. And all other things that we. If one tries to come to that position artificially, you'll have so many things within the heart, and it all becomes sahaja, imitation. That's not right. All those things must be removed, and then by the grace of the Lord, and when He is pleased with us, then He may show Himself in His real form. Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunasvarupam. You know that verse from the Brahma Samhita? Yes. Premanjana Chodita Bhakti Vilochanena Shantakshadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunasvarupam Govinda Maripusham Tamaham Bhajami. He sees like that. Purified soul. He will see Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya, who is Achintya Gunasvarupam, who has inconceivable qualities. His qualities are inconceivable, Achintya Guna. Swarup, but he has a form. Who has a form has qualities. If we can see the qualities, we can't see his form. But by love, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochana, by love, then the eyes become changed, become capable of seeing what is otherwise inconceivable, understanding what is otherwise inconceivable. So don't try to think you're so powerful that you can do those things immediately. That will be a mistake. That'll be a Chintya platform, and we have to be qualified in a very thorough way. Slow and sure wins the race. We have to have faith that those things will come when He is pleased with us as devotees. Don't push. You can't rush. You can't cross Krishna. He has to allow. He can throw the switch that turns off Maya and turns on Krishna. The switch. Consciousness. The consciousness. The Krishna. The evil.
Alright.
Yes.
Krishna says, people who take my shelter, it's very easy for them to win over Maya. But taking Krishna's shelter is also very hard. It's not easy.
It's true, you know. I think everything is, I have to do everything. Everything's in my control. If I don't do things, everything will fall apart. How can I give myself over completely? So the best thing I can tell you in that regard is that by experience you realize, you know, as you get older, I guess, you realize that all your plans have been smashed. None of them worked out. And so you realize, what am I doing? I'm trying to do so many things, yet what have I accomplished by my plans? His plans have been working out all the time. And I'm thinking, if I have my plans, how are going to work out now? But they don't. And then you realize, you know, my life is still going on, despite all my plans having been completely destroyed. And I'm still going on. And to no credit to myself. Despite myself, everything is going on. Despite my attempts to improve or do this or do that. So by experience, we learned. We learned that it's not under my control. Somehow, it's all being done, and I'm somehow in the midst of this wonderful experience, a magical experience called life, called reality, or whatever you want to call it. And things are happening, not with my intent, not according to my will, according to His will.
There is a song, Srila Bhakti Yoga Thakur,
Yeah.
Gopika Goma Nivedana Suna.
Uh,
In that he says, I have tried a lot, but now I accepted defeat.
yes. Yes. You have leveled me. You have leveled me, you know, leveled me. Like the bomb, when you explode the bomb, everything becomes leveled. All the houses, all the trees. So life is like that. You'll find everything is destroyed as we go on. But there's still we're going on. Die to live. Everything is being destroyed, but we're still living. Well, not by our will. But we have to learn that. We're very stubborn. We think, no, I can do it. It's mine. I'm doing this. Everything is I'm up to me. And if I don't stop doing things, everything will come to ruin. You do what you can. But really, you'll see. That is Krishna's grace, actually, when everything that we work for is finished, is destroyed. That's Krishna's special mercy on Krishna's devotees to do that, because he wants them to surrender to him. And he wants to reward them with his favor. Not what they want, what he wants. And the devotees find that their lives are becoming happy by that. They become fulfilled. Huh?
Maharaj, once you told about Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj told that he became so helpless. He felt so helpless.
Empty. He said he emptied himself so much that Krishna had to come and take over, and became so empty. The negative had drawn the positive to him. So as long as we are positive, we will repel Krishna. When we become negative, we will attract. So that emptiness that Prabhupada felt, dear Lord, you can kill me or save me as you like. He was on the boat, in the middle of the ocean, having two heart attacks. He had no money in his pocket, going to an unknown land without any Vaishnavas there, only the order of his Gurudev. And in that kind of condition, empty, then, dear, dear Lord, what do you want to do? I am like a puppet. If you want me to dance, pull the strings, then I can dance. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here like a piece of wood. We can't imagine. That's how the Vaishnavas genuinely feel. And what Krishna cannot neglect such a sincere soul. And that's how he utilizes them. He utilizes them by what did that Srinamar call him? Shaktivesh. Shaktivesh avatar. He came and acted through him. Otherwise, what Prabhupada did, no one could do. No old man could do what he did. Write so many books, open so many temples, have so many thousands of disciples. How could anyone do that? Yes. With nothing, starting from nothing, zero, sunya. Only his faith, only his devotion. And an amazing thing happened. Throughout the world, the whole world was changed. This is Krishna acting in his devotee, not the activities of an old man. Krishnadas Kaviraj, he is writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita. How he can write? He's thinking, I'm blind. I'm an old man, I'm blind. I can hardly see anything. I don't know even what I'm doing. Somehow, my hand is writing. Somehow I'm writing these things. Because the Vaishnavas had asked me to write. Unbeknownst to me, I'm like the worm and stool, less than the worm and stool. And the Vaishnavas are asking me to write this. How is it possible? He wrote the beautiful theological literature and all rhythmical, beautiful Bengali poetry. Highest ontological truths in a poetic form. Krishnadas Kaviraj. So like that, we see the examples, we hear these stories, everything is there. How much we can imitate them, how much we can follow them. But let's see. We can only try in a small way, no? In a small way. We can get inspiration from them to how to go. Some direction from them, how to proceed in our life. That we've tried to take that up sincerely and practice. Practice like that. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, it seems the lockdown period has put some kind of test to all, like staying one place, how one practice Krishna consciousness. It seems to be some devotees, some people they get little distracted or even little disturbed. One incident, Majaraja Maharaj saying that one devotee, senior devotee, comes all of a sudden and tells to Maharaj that I lost all my interest in giving back the Japamala and Kantimala. Stepping in room and thinking so many things, something like that. And seems to be staying at one place without devotees. Some people are getting some bad influence.
By some offense. If there's some offense, then that might happen. We must be very careful not to create any offense toward anyone. especially toward Vaishnava. Some offense is there. Then we will be, yeah, that, what is that? Elephant offense? What do they call? The elephant offense. Hatimasa. That the elephant comes in the garden and everything will be trampled. That elephant is the aparat, some type of aparat. Otherwise, it won't happen. Shouldn't happen. I can only think. So one has to be very alert to think, what am I thinking? What have I done? Even thinking bad may do that. So we have to be very careful never to do that. Better always to think in a positive way about everyone. But sometimes, of course, we have to discriminate, but not in a final way. Huh? Some may have some bad quality or whatever. All right, they are doing their best. Huh? I am also having so many bad qualities. Don't become offensive or proud or whatever. Try to deal with it as best you can, but always understand. I don't want to make any offense toward anyone. No, don't become too passionate of that. In a humble way, we have to try to proceed. In a transcendental way. Otherwise, we can wind up like that with nothing possible. That's my understanding, anyhow. I don't know. Okay. Very difficult because I know when you're in a position of, some authority, that it's very easy to make offense. I've done many times. Thank God I'm not in a position of authority so much. We should pray for that. Don't put me in any position.
Maharaj, you told once about somebody who was like a Manu or somebody who wanted to give his post to some political person, but nobody was willing to take it.
That Kumars, they were told to make the propagate the humanity, and they said, no, we don't want to get entangled in that. We want to remain children, babies. Then we can't get any position. You see, too dangerous, too much entangling to take any responsibility. What else?
Another situation also that in spiritual life we also have lots of tests. The Sripad is studying college, or the only way to know if you learn or not, you have a test. So in spiritual life, the tests are common. Some people will pass, some people not. I see many devotees that happen. They have a test, and sometimes they lose the confidence, they lose the devotion, and they say, no, this is too hard, or can't pass this, or we do something else. But tests are coming once in a while, so you have to be having like a strong devotion to see that Krishna put us some test to try and see if you have enough faith. And the test will come in different ways.
I heard devotees pray, Krishna, don't test me. If you test me, I will fail, no doubt. No, please don't test me. I have always failed my tests. Now, please don't do that. And sometimes you fail. Sometimes you fail all the tests. And that helps the devotee, actually. They help the devotee become humble. I'm a failure. I can't pass any test. I have no love. I have nothing. Krishna, I only have your mercy. If you rely on my qualifications, you won't find anything worthy. You won't find anything to give me any credit, make me deserving of anything. That may also help devotee become more humble.
So, book
Huh? What was that?
is like in the prayer of the Kirtan book,
Yes.
105. So he reminds
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
like a Gita book.
Yes. Yes. Devotee can feel very fallen, very unfortunate, but he doesn't lose his faith. That kind of thing is really valuable. Huh? One who thinks he's got so many qualities, so many shlokas, he's so many philosophies, is that the other thing? Has done so many good things. That's a dangerous position. More dangerous than one who thinks I have nothing. I've done nothing. No quality. Huh? To pray for that position. That'll be very nice. Anyhow, there's so many different ways we have to think. Krishna will give you intelligence according to your sincerity. Your sincerity has to be there. The main thing. Not any other consideration. Uh, may, uh, uh, may be necessary. Only that we are sincere, humbly praying. Who wants Krishna genuinely? And who wants other things? Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. Know that verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Ye yatamam. As you come to me, I will reward you. Your desire will be my command. That's the relation between the Lord and his devotees. That is the relationship. Krishna, man proposes and God disposes. You think you're getting things on your own? No. You want something and you're going to get that, but not on your own, by your own power, if Krishna gives it to you. Like everybody might want to become a millionaire, let's say. If you had any desire to become a millionaire, have a lot of money, you can desire that, no problem. But Krishna has to make it happen. Huh? It'll happen only when Krishna says, okay, you can have that. It won't happen otherwise. So many people aspire to be me. Some people become, some people don't. Why? Because Krishna allows. Krishna allows that. Man proposes, God disposes. But you have to want, and then Krishna will fulfill, according to his uh, desire. Well, if that is the case, then who would not want to have Krishna? Who is intelligent to understand, why am I wanting so many other things? If this is the situation, man proposes God, then I want Krishna. Who is this? Who is dispensing all these things? I want him. Why should I want the other things? And he will give you himself. What more could you want?
Among the devotees of Krishna also, there are different, nature. Like some devotees are very submissive to Krishna,
Hmm?
and whatever Krishna says, he is doing. And in some cases, we see that even there seems to be little, strong, and even playing or opposing. And in that way also Krishna seems to be more releasing. So they're like two different kinds of devotees that we see in general. Like some are very submissive in that first time, and some are more even dominating Krishna.
Yes. Yeah, all types of relationships are there. All types of relationships are there in the spiritual. Krishna is complete. So all kinds of relationships are there. And those who are servants of Radharani, they are pushing her. to serve Krishna because she's the best servitor. So why I should try to serve Krishna? She is the best servant. Let me serve her, and that way Krishna can be pleased. Whereas this Chandravali group, I want to serve Krishna. I can please him the best. I'm not thinking about anyone else better than oneself. Well, of course, you get some higher position like that. I can serve Krishna. So they are competing with Radharani. Well, there's humble Radhadasya devotees. They're not thinking like that. Why I should try to become the biggest devotee, the best devotee? Already one is there. Huh? Let me serve them. And this way, Krishna can be very nicely happy because she's doing such a good job. She knows how to do it so nicely. And then let me try to support her position, her service. And I was thinking, no, I can want to become big devotee. I want to become well known, have a lot of disciple followers, this, that, the other thing. That's what happens.
In India,
Yeah.
in India, generally they say in Dwarka Lila, Rukmani is the best devotee. The general conception in India.
Okay.
Which in Rupa Goswami's explanation, he says it is Satyabhama who represents Radharani. And because they consider Rukmani as great devotee in India, because she is completely, like whatever Krishna is saying, is simply but Satyabhama seems to be, more like, demanding.
They call it Vomya. Vomya Ras. You know Vomya? She'll tell Krishna off. Krishna, who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing, huh? And Krishna likes that very much. He likes that.
In India, they have this misconception, Maharaj, that Rukmani is the greatest devotee.
Yeah.
In Dwarka. But we find only in explanation of Rupa Goswami this revelation.
Yeah. So the ultimate criterion is what does Krishna like. That's why I was saying that anukulyena, the difficult idea, anukulyena, or favorable. We may think that talking back to Krishna, calling him bad names and things like that, it may not be so favorable, but Krishna, sometimes he likes that. And that is also favorable service if he likes it. That's the criterion. If Krishna is satisfied, if Guru is satisfied, then we can engage. Then we are pure, or have a pure heart. With a pure heart, those things may be possible. May be possible. I've seen devotees imitating those things. I don't like it. They're very bad. It makes me feel very bad to see that. But anyhow, this is what we are told. Huh?
In Jagannath Puri,
Yes.
sometimes the priest there, they sometimes very badly behave with Jagannath.
Yes.
They become very angry.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard all these things. Anyhow, those are the pastimes of the Lord. Is there.
But some people, ordinary people, also try to imitate.
All right. Makes it interesting, right? But we, like I said, our main focus should be on Guru, what is pleasing to him, and if he gives okay to anything, then we can go in that direction. our direction is proper. So we always have to check for anukulyena. What is Gurudev say available? Of course, that is for our position. Higher position, they may do anything and everything. But our position is should be like that. Check with Guru. Check with the Vaishnava. Then we are safe. Huh?
The same Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nityananda Prabhu sometimes have argument with Advaita Acharya.
Yes.
They are fighting each other, but at the end they are praising each other. They say that don't try to get sides of each one, but they are doing a good thing for each other, but you're praising Christ. So sometimes you have to see things from real far.
Yeah.
A different perspective.
Yeah. Even Nityananda kicked Shivananda Sain in the stomach. You know? and he was thinking, oh, you are so merciful, you have put your lotus foot in my stomach. Huh? Hare Krishna.
Nityananda Prabhu was calling him Mayavadi.
Right.
Calling him like you are like you are outcast.
Uh,
And how I'm taking prasadam with you, it is like insult.
then shall we read something from the Prapana Jivanamrita? Do anyone other questions? We have another half an hour, and we'll read.
What is the page number?
1 second. Page 20. Page 20. At the bottom of page 20. Tanityatvam tat abhave atmano vansitatvat. Prapyapi durabhatanam ataram manusyam vibhudepsitam yar ashrito na govindas tar atma vansitaschiram. The unsurrendered soul is perpetually deceived, thus the state of surrender is eternal. Who is unsurrendered, they're eternally deceived. If you're unsurrendered, you're eternally deceived. And if you're surrendered, you're eternally liberated. Huh? Opposites. A birth in the human species is so valuable that it is aspired for by the demigods, those who, despite having taken such a birth, do not take shelter of the lotus feet of Govinda, they deceive themselves perpetually. The human species. Darwin wants to say we're just animal coming from the animals, but it can't be. We have something so much more than the animals have in language, poetry, philosophy, religion, society, politics, economics. All these things that animal society never experiences, doesn't experience that. So the human form of life looks like just any other biological life on the planet. But there's not. There's something more, something special. That spiritual element is there. That ability to go beyond mere nature, to experience more than just what is natural, more than just the natural experiences, uh, just by creating culture, by creating a cultural life of art, philosophy, so forth, political structures, institutions. These are all things that are not found in any lower stratum of biological life. So what is that extra quality that exists within the human form of life? That is very special. Huh? There the spiritual nature is found. And that dimension is there in the human life, and its highest perfection is found in the religion, the concept of God. What higher concept is possible for human life? Is there any concept higher than God? God means the highest concept. There's one philosopher, what was his name? Anselm. Huh? Is that it? Anselm, huh? Huh? Anselm? I think the name is Anselm. He said, you can think of the highest, what is the highest thing you can think of? And he said, that's God. The highest thing. Anyone can think of the highest conception. Everyone has the ability to think of the highest conception. That highest conception, we mean God. So then we also decide, if that's the highest conception, does it exist or doesn't it exist? He gave the question like that. If you can think, anyone can think that there's a highest conception, and then he said, and that highest conception must exist. The highest conception must exist. Why must it exist? Because if it's the highest conception and it doesn't exist, then it's not a very high conception. Huh? If it's the highest conception, then it must have existence also. That would be the highest conception. He was reasoning something like that. If anyone can think of the highest conception, and that we call God, then we have to ask, can that highest conception exist or does it exist? If it doesn't exist, then it's not the highest thing possible. And if it does exist, then we know that's higher. His argument was something like that. It's called Anselm's proof of God. Proof of God.
Monologia.
Huh?
In Monologia,
Yeah.
he has these proofs about degrees of perfection.
Yeah. So that was his argument. And then Kant came along, Immanuel Kant, and he was complaining that, you may have a conception, but how you can say that conception has existence? And he gave the example. He said, I can think of $100. I have the conception of $100 in my mind. Does that mean that conception is in my pocket? That $100 is in my pocket. So he tried to argue, just because you have a conception of the highest thing doesn't mean that it exists automatically. Well, you can have a higher conception, but to say that it also exists, that you can't conclude that. And then Hegel, he countered that argument. He said, you can say that for some finite thing like $100. But when you're talking about God, that is not a finite thing. It's an infinite thing. And because God is infinite, then you can't deny any quality to him, even existence. If you denied existence to God, he would not be infinite. Huh? So, yes, God is a conception, but it's an infinite conception. It's not a material thing. It doesn't have any limitations to it, conditions to it. Then you cannot say, therefore, it does not exist. It must exist because of its infinite quality. And like this, they have been arguing about the existence of God on the basis of just argument, logic. Mhm. So the human being, they said, is meant for this kind of thing. If he doesn't understand this highest thing, doesn't make an attempt to understand the ultimate, then he has not fully utilized his powers that have been given to him. Not fully utilized those. So these are the types of things that the highest, the most, how would you say, most comprehensive human beings, most complete beings, they meditate on. They try to understand that. And if you haven't done that, then you're not utilizing your potential to the fullest. You're not using your potential, the highest potential that you have. And you are therefore uh, deceiving yourself. Uh, you are not getting the maximum out of your abilities. Be the best you can be. You're not being the best you can be. You're not. You're much less. You're about doing much less than you are capable of. It's like going to school. Sometimes students go to schools and the parents say, "You have a lot more potential than what you're doing." All right? You have a lot more potential, but you're not using it like that. Here in the U.S. Army, they have this slogan: "Be the best you can be. Join the Army. We'll make you a real man. Use all your potential." But no, in the religion life, they say if you haven't, in philosophy life, they say if you have not tried to understand what is your relation to God and what your relation, then you have not utilized your potential fully. You have not become a full human being. And today that is not understood at all. Yet that is the teaching. That is the teaching of Shastra also. Thus those who take birth as human beings and do not take shelter of the lotus feet of Kunda, they have lost everything. They have missed what the real essence of existence is.
Some comparison has been given with demigods. And once Sripad Maharaj was telling that even demigods are envious of the fortunate position of human beings. Even though such an exalted position, and even having some opportunity to associate with great sadhus also sometimes, like Narada and others are there. Why in even in a position is being so much emphasized?
Well, I think it's I say it's always because they're having such a nice life. It's difficult for them to want anything else but their nice life. Uh, they can't think of anything other better than what they're doing. They don't have the opportunity to consider a better position because they have such a nice position. No problems, no miseries, nothing. Uh, they live for so many years, thousands of years. They don't think of death. They don't get sick. Uh, so many things like that. Thank you, bro. But to a human being, they have some good, some bad. If it's too nice, you never think of anything else. If it's too bad, you don't have time to think of anything else but how to solve your problems. So human beings are in the middle.
So and bad means like Lorca, other lower planets, Maharaj?
Yeah, not necessarily. Sometimes the lower planets are very nice also, filled with so many opulences that they don't remember, they don't have a chance, they don't have any opportunity also or inspiration to meditate on God. So that is also hellish condition. Basically, we are conditioned beings, or easily become conditioned. We need a little help to get out of that. Just like, the story of Indra, and became the pig. Huh? I became a pig, and I was thinking, oh, this pig life is so nice. I have my pig family and my pig wife. And when I wanted, Narada Muni came to him, but you're living the life of a pig. I'm very happy here. But you had a nice life in the heavenly world. You were a king. No, no, no. This is a very nice life. Uh, I don't want anything else. So, a living entity is like that. He becomes conditioned. Conditioned. Well, then some disturbance is needed in one's life to wake him up. Wait a minute. My position is not so nice. Something better is possible. Then he can look. What is that better thing? Why there are so many problems? Well, let's read one more. Aprapananam jivana vaipalyatscha asitin chatarashchaiva laksham stanjiva jatishu brahmyadbhi purushai prapya manusyam janma prayayat tadapyafalatan yatam tesham atma bimaninam varakanam anashritya govinda charanshid govinda charanadvayam. And it says the utter futility of life without surrender. What is this? After wandering throughout 8,400,000 species, the soul eventually takes a human birth, but that human birth is rendered worthless by those miserable fellows who are so proud of their bodies that they refuse to take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. In Bhagavatam, there's one verse. I don't remember the Sanskrit, but it says that the eyes that have never seen the lotus feet of the Lord are like the painted eyes on the peacock feather. You know that verse? The eyes on the peacock feathers. You know those? You have seen the design on the peacock tail? You've seen the design? It looks like an eye, huh? And the eyes that have not engaged in seeing the deity or the devotees, they are like the painted eyes, the eyes on the peacock feather. Something like that. Do you remember that verse, Rasarasmu, from the Bhagavatam?
No, I remember something, another verse itself.
Huh?
They say that every something useful. It's not dedicated to appreciate.
Yeah, yes. So, eyes, nose, everything, voice, these things, they are to be utilized for the service of Krishna. Otherwise, they're just some kind of useless things. not only useless, but they can get you in trouble. Hmm? They can drag you down to lower life. I think you got an echo. Huh? I wish I could remember that verse. It was very nice. What else? They gave some examples. Huh? Trying to find it
It is from Bhagavatam, Maharaj.
from the Bhagavatam, or probably the first canto.
It's about Krishna's eyes being like those on a peacock.
No,
Who's eyes?
no. Then it said something like the tongue that is not vibrating the message of the Supreme Lord is like the frog's tongue. The frog's tongue. He's calling the black snake of death. When the frog, the croak, when the frog croaks, there's a black snake that comes, and he's listening for the frog to croak, and when he croaks, the snake can know where the frog is, and he comes and eats the frog. Uh, yeah. So when who is talking about so many things? Those people are like the frogs croaking, and they're only inviting death to come. Their croaking is only to invite the snake of death to come and eat them. Something like that. So you should use your voice to glorify the Lord. Otherwise, you're just calling the snake of death. He'll come and finish you. Don't waste your voice on such meaningless things. Use your voice. You have. Well, you're going to die. Everyone is going to die. But if you use your voice in the service of the Lord, you won't be consumed by that snake of death. You'll get the eternal benefit. Life in the eternal world, beyond the natural world, birth and death. These things are there given as, what do you call them? Like analogies or parables or something like that, for people to realize something very deep philosophically and ontologically about what is capable for the human being to do. And if we study these things very deeply, very carefully, just Srila Majaraja say, dive deep into reality. We will find the meaning, the significance of these things. How that is possible. How does that mean? What is that quality in man that allows him to understand and do these things? And it can be very easy. But it can be very easy if we just follow, actually. Huh?
2.3.20.
Ah,
I've sent on the chat.
I see.
2.3.2.
What is it? Read it, Maharaj?
It says, one who has not listened to the messages about the prowess and marvelous act of the personality of Godhead, and has not sung or chanted loudly the worthy songs about the Lord, is to be considered to possess ear holes like the holes of snakes,
Yeah.
and a tongue like the tongue of a frog.
Yes. Yes.
That will continue to another verse.
Huh?
I think they have more verses.
More verses, yes. Similar like that in the Bhagavatam. Which canto is that? First canto. First?
Second canto, third canto.
Second canto. Huh? Yes.
Second chapter, canto, third chapter, 20th verse.
Okay. What's the name of that chapter?
Name. pure devotional service.
All right.
Change in heart.
Yes. So these things are found there in the Bhagavatam. So then, they're very nice, actually, the Bhagavatam. If we read that, you'll understand that how much the human form of life has a special significance, and we should not just ignore that. People get so tied up in their materialistic activities. Nowadays, especially in the modern age, people have no idea of these things. Then, at that time, they were very much aware. Nowadays, nobody is aware of these things. Now, what is the value of human life? The real value. Not just doing so many things, collecting so many gadgets, uh, engaging in so many different activities. There's something of deep significance to what is the human life, what it's for. Anyhow, that's what these books are meant for, to awaken that. I think we better stop now. Everybody has something to do today. 4th of July, well, in America, we have fireworks. In other countries, speciality today is Independence Day. Krishna Keshava was telling me today is Independence of Maya, where devotees are independent from Maya today.
Sripad Maharaj given the initiation on India's Independence Day.
All right.
15th of August.
Okay. So now everything is close, is difficult there in India. I think they're having a very difficult, yeah.
All like corona patients are like overwhelming in our area.
I heard. I heard.
One died.
I heard they built a 10,000 bed hospital. They built a 10,000 bed hospital in Delhi. In Delhi, they're expecting a lot of people and to be hospitalized. So they built one hospital, the biggest hospital in the world, actually. 10,000 beds. You heard about that? Yeah.
They made also trains in the stations.
Yes.
Made them like beds for the patients.
I see.
Train seats.
Huh?
Train seats.
Right. Right.
All trains.
Right.
They made the train as the
Hospital. So what to do? They don't know how to control it. See? They're telling everybody stay home. Everybody has to stay home. But if you stay home, then the economy collapses. So what to do? Huh? What will they do? How will they solve this problem? In England, however, they're doing okay, huh? UK, they have, did they? I don't know. Some places they say they have controlled it. Well, and they don't want anybody to come in their countries. No Americans can come because they're all so sick. Huh?
Your governor was saying we got corona from the Europeans and now they are not allowing us to come back.
Yes. So some states seem to have controlled it better than others, but then they can't allow, like in New York and New Jersey, they don't allow anyone to come from one place to the other. They're afraid there'll be some cross contamination. Very difficult. How will they handle this situation? I don't know. Everyone, they want to wear a mask. Uh, they help,
Become like games.
uh, but many businesses, they can't operate. Restaurants, bars, and things like that. They're not able to put a lot of people there. First of all, the people don't follow the rules. They don't stay apart. They don't wear a mask, and they're indoor, and so the virus can spread easily. And then we have a president who is completely insane. He wants to bring everybody together and have a big, party, and no regard for any rules and regulations. And people are confused. They see that and they wonder, well, what should we do? Also, should we be like that? Uh, Very difficult. Anyhow, I don't know. Uh, I'm waiting for the day when we can also have our program back in Princeton. But we don't want to take any chances.
Not good, Maharaj, to take chance.
Now, how are you going to maintain yourself, Shantavars? You are doing a collection. You are living on only collections. And
Maharaj, now you cannot go out.
I know.
Even to go 2 meters, the police is going to.
Yes.
The police is going there. There's so many patients. And shops are all closed now. Again. We got our groceries like that, and store. It's all shops closed.
Difficult, difficult time. Anyhow, what can we do? We can only chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Krishna.
Even we are going to evening walk, Maharaj, because it's going to one way, becomes very difficult.
Yes.
That also seems to be going to be restricted the way it is happening. They are now chasing people, they cannot go out.
What is Krishna's plan, huh? We'll find out. I'll find out. And in the fall, then there's not only the virus, but the flu, other diseases come in the cold weather.
It's rainy season, Maharaj.
Yes.
Number of flu and lot of diseases
Come
naturally happens.
increase.
And that will be added off with this, pandemic. It becomes more difficult.
World War III. We used to ask Sridhar Maharaj, what happens if World War III comes? And he said, it may come. let it come. No. These things are coming and going.
So many devastation came and gone.
Pralaya, huh? The main thing is to practice our sadhana, practice devotion, become Krishna conscious. Huh? This is the main thing. Everything may be destroyed. Everything will be destroyed. Not maybe. Will be destroyed. Everything. And yet, that will remain is what we can practice in Krishna consciousness. How much we develop our consciousness, that will remain. That will remain after everything else is lost. So that is our main objective. Huh? We develop your Krishna consciousness. That you can take with you. And that has to be practiced every day. whole world may go to hell. What did Saraswati Thakur say? Said if the whole world is on fire,
Be on fire.
Whole world is on fire, don't bother to put it out. Don't bother to put it out. You save yourself. Try to meditate on Krishna. That is more important. Yeah. And he not only said the world is not only the world on fire, if your hair is on fire. What did he say? I can't remember exactly.
Well, actually, this happened during the time of Gaur Purnima.
Oh, yes.
Actually, many people, those who are not even joined the mart or other people also come for Parikrama. Then he become very sad that they are all leaving after Gaur Purnima. They were saying that many people are going out. We are doing chanting and everything nicely here. Why are you going now? So, saying we will not go, then there will be so much problem. If it is once, then that is gone. Why are you worried about it?
Anyhow, my Dandavat pranams to all. What is? Amaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Dandavat. Dandavat.